Back out on the ice again. Let's see, 2 feet from where we were last weekend, but it is very different today. So far this week we had freezing rain, temperatures between minus 11, 12 with the wind chill up to 12 degrees Celsius. It has been a very, very weird week for temperatures. We weren't even sure if the ice was going to be here today because it was that warm. As you saw in our last video, there was a lot of water out here. When we finally got off the ice, it was about 9 degrees out. From there, it just drastically dropped. Lots of freezing rain, and then just the temperatures skyrocketed back up. We're trying the exact same tactics we tried last week because we knew they worked. This week, we are not going to get above zero, or we're not supposed to. There's a slight wind coming out of the south, so which is a little bit different wind-wise from last week. And so far, it has proven to be a lot more difficult to catch a fish. The only reason the camera's on right now is because I had my first indication. We've been out here for almost an hour. It is way chillier. When we left the van, it was, what, -8?
-8 when we left the van.
So yeah, the temperatures have been all over the place, so we're not sure even if the fish are going to be in any kind of mood to want to play today. The ice is crystal clear. There's no snow cover on it whatsoever, so a lot more light getting down. We have about another foot and a half of visibility from last week, so we can see a lot further down, so that probably means the fish can see a lot better up. It's proving to be like our first session out here, except we're trying all this same stuff we had last week. Supposedly, Clint is on his way. Might be visited by...
Big fish angler Chad may pop by. Dave may pop by. We may get some visitors, but...
I saw Clint.
Yeah, we're not sure.
I'm not sure. So yeah, we might have a few people out on the ice here. It is very noisy out here this morning. It seems to have settled down a bit, but when we first got out here, we weren't even sure if we were going to stay in this spot because it was a lot of shifting and noise and cracking, and it was a little spooky. We seem to have settled it down a bit. The sun's getting a little higher, so maybe the lighting will get better for us and warm us up a little bit. And fades to black.
How's the new rod feel?
Good. A bit of a head shaker there, aren't you?
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Don't scare them.
Oh, I saw him go under your feet. That was so cool. There's your jig. I can see your jig down here. There's the fish.
Oh, there he is. Oh, that is so neat.
Okay, you gotta... Oh, let him go, let him go. I'm gonna have to grab him. I'm trying to keep the camera pointed at the right spot.
That's so trippy.
I know, I hope it's showing up. Careful the edge of that. There you go.
Nice.
First fish of the morning, Goldie.
First. Oh. Come on, broken head.
Right there. Looking right in the sun.
Of course. Oh.
Okay, just set it down.
Right up.
Yeah. You got him?
Yeah.
That's the right start.
Good start.
That's on the pink. I haven't had a bite yet, so yeah, we're definitely gonna be working a little bit harder today.
So yeah, like I said, we just turned the camera on because I had a little bite, and apparently he didn't take off very far because, well, it's been 5 minutes maybe. So there he is.
Yeah, fresh minnow and get him.
Yep. I'll put you back because it is really cold out here. You're freezing up.
Look whose alarm clock finally got him here. So finally Clint shows up early. But you've never ice fished before.
Never.
This is new. Just bought your rod yesterday.
Yep.
So this is kind of like we had with Andrew last week. You know, new angler out, so there's always some new angler luck that's got to happen. So you're going to be fishing just slightly deeper than us.
Okay.
You're probably about 14 feet. Okay. You know, you've got the same setup, just a teardrop jig with a lively minnow. What you're going to do, because you got new line on here, keep a finger on the spool. Okay. All right, so that you can be careful how much you let out, because it's just going to jump like that, right?
I was just pulling on it yesterday.
Yeah, so
Instead of just letting it drop.
ideally just let it drop a bit under its own weight. Help it if it needs to, if it's going to twist up a bit.
Yeah.
This line memory will go away through the day,
Okay.
but we want to try and get it down there as smooth as possible. Should be about there now. So just reel down till you can feel the weight of the bait. There's the weight of the bait. Okay. So you're going to see, if you let it sit, you'll see your minnow wiggling it a bit. The tip will bounce a little bit. But ideally, to keep it going, every now and then you want to just be sitting here and just give it little jigs. Little jigs, little twitches.
All right.
Right? Never too much. Okay. You always want to try and keep it just off the bottom. Now, if you feel that you're too tight to the bottom, last week our situation was all our fish were up as much as 2, 3, 4 feet off the bottom. They weren't tight to the bottom. This week I think the light's going to push them down.
Okay.
So I'm fishing close to the bottom. Goldie's kind of working that layer, you know, a couple feet above. He's had 2 bites and got 1 fish so far. So, you know, we'll just keep doing the same thing we're doing. A little bit of dead sticking, you know, every now and then just put it in the stand, let it sit there, let the minnow do its job.
Okay.
Then, you know, when you want to jig it, sit here, jig it for a bit. You know, move it a little bit, up and down a couple inches. But then if you find that nothing's happening, there might be a fish that's just under it watching it. They're notorious for just sitting there staring at it. So then do this, just lift it up a foot. Do the same thing, jig it, pause, jig it, pause. And very, very well you could have that fish that'll come right up and just whack it. It's going to be a very distinctive bite. It's going to be a thud. Mm-hmm. You know how to set a hook.
Yep.
It's nothing new to you, but with ice fishing, you're not setting the hook. You're sweeping.
Okay.
Okay. Whole arm, whole upper body movement.
Right.
Sweep upward to drive that tip down.
Okay.
Right. So you're, you know, in some cases the reel is almost going up over the hole to get a direct line. Good hooks that they have hard bony mouths.
Okay.
And then hopefully your drag will be set. Make sure they have enough to run with. The neat thing about the clear ice is that you'll actually see the fish swimming around as it gets under the hole.
Nice.
But, you know, don't be shy about it. If you get a fish on, let somebody know, because it's always best to have help when you got a fish coming to the hole.
Okay.
All right?
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Don't be Goldie.
Don't be Goldie.
Don't be Goldie.
Goldie,
I never say it when I have a fish.
Tell me. That was a good solid bite. So that's, yeah, I got a really lively minnow. And you see the twit, how he's doing that really fast quiver? You see the tip, see that quiver?
Yep.
When that quiver happens, at least last week and other times I've fished, when a minnow does that really fast quiver, it's usually because there's a predator right there. So there's a good chance that that pike is still there. So we got to keep an eye on your line, my other line, because there's one over here. It's almost a good thing that Goldie's not here right now. just so you know, the big thing that we really needed the most, you know, to keep us warm and stuff is the hut. And somehow, not sure how, but I forgot the hut. Brought everything else, completely forgot the hut. And this happens to be the day that Goldie gets cold. He wears shorts out here last week. This week he's freezing. So he's driven all the way back to the house to get the hut. Man, that was a good bite. He's got to be there still. Got to be. I'll get him. Yeah, that fish was up high. You like the sound of the pressure cracks, Clint?
I don't.
A little different, eh?
Yeah. But as thick as the ice is, like I said, you're not going to just, plummet through it like thin ice, right?
No. Well, like I told Goldie before, when you hear these noises on the ice, these cracks and these plunge kind of sounds, it's doing one of two things. It's making new ice, and as it's lifting up, it's cracking and reforming as it's trying to take up its new space. Or it's completely breaking apart. It's not breaking apart today.
No.
So it's obviously just because it's stayed cold, it's just forming new ice, which is exactly what we want. Man, I want that fish to come back. That was a good solid bite. A few people on pails. It's probably the quietest I've seen it out here this winter. The nice thing is that he had that fish, so we know that they're still moving through. I've now had a bite, so we know that they're still in the area. It might be better in the afternoon, we don't know. It's kind of funny that most of the morning is pretty much gone by already and there's not been much happening, but the winds are different from last week. The conditions have just not stayed the same each time we've been out, so it's set that unique set of challenges each time. Come on, fish. Come on. Sounds nice. You look like you're going to jump out of your skin every time that crack happens.
Yeah, yesterday I just walked away from the hole. I had enough of that.
The other thing to note is that Goldie got his fish on a much smaller minnow than we've been using. I'm still using those kind of medium to large size minnows. So maybe conditions are different, that we need to use the smaller baits with like we talked about with the more light getting down. Smaller baits might be what they're after, but I had a pretty big minnow on when I had that bite. You watch, I'll put this rod down and go jig that one or clear the hole or something with ice, and then this one will go. That one, I just watched it, went right under your feet.
Did you see me jump?
Yeah. That's another thing, with all the noise of the ice forming and all these pressure cracks and such, obviously that noise is reverberating all through the water column. These fish are obviously gonna hear it. What we don't know is what kind of impact that has on their feeding.
Yeah.
Right? Do they feed actively when the ice is forming like that? Do they shut down until it's quieter? There was absolutely no cracks happening when Goldie had his fish. But we've had them going for quite a while, and we just finally had one other bite. So what kind of effect does the noise have on these fish? Like I fished a lot of spots where if you walk from one hole to the other, that noise will spook the fish off. Are they that sensitive here? I don't know. Last week we were making all kinds of noise, especially me. I was yelping like a little girl because I was having so much fun, and that didn't seem to shut the fish down. But I don't know. Like I said, different conditions today. It's kind of interesting.
Oh,
Oh, get him, get him, get him. You still feel him? Okay, there's another trick I probably should have showed you there. Just wait for him to come back. There's a way you can set the hook just by yanking the line and then taking your rod out of the stand. I guess I never explained that to you. But he's in the area because now that's 2 whacks you've had.
that's right at the bottom.
Yeah, that might even be a perch. The way it's behaving like that.
Yeah, because if it was a pike, it would have taken it.
If it was a pike, it should have just taken it really hard.
But every time I put it back in the stand, that's twice now. When I put it back in the stand, how high does it sit?
So just that couple inches.
That was a little bit higher.
Hark, the call of my people. I hate gas augers. Until there's 4 feet of ice, then I love them.
Yeah.
Come on, you gonna catch this fish yet or what? Like, I'd like to get back to what I was doing.
Okay, well here, let's try this again. I seem to take a hit every time I put it back in there. Hey! No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this camera off of you because you're not doing anything. But you've had some bites, so we've got fish moving around.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Hey!
Yeah, that one was a little bit sketchy, wasn't it? Of course, that one piece of advice I gave you of don't shift so quickly when it cracks.
Did not like that one.
All right. stuff isn't freezing down as fast.
Yeah.
It won't be too far from your rod stand.
How's this side better?
We don't know. What matters right now is that it's different. Wet glove.
Oh, that's a monster.
Oh, one of the screws came out of my. Let's put that back in there.
Oh, he's not going to be happy.
Well, he shouldn't have left you in charge of his rod.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're only fishing one, so this kind of worked as your second rod. I was just faster than you.
You're always faster than me.
It's a nice little fish, though.
Yeah.
So there goes the chance at Clint's first ice fish.
I think you did this to somebody last week, didn't you?
Andrew? Maybe. Look at him, there he goes. Oh, that's so cool. We'll just leave it out. He doesn't need to know that he had a fish.
Not until he sees the video, at least.
Yeah, well, his rod's been christened in.
Yeah.
I just got my gloves wet, I got my glasses wet.
Slide again.
Oh, yeah.
How thick is the ice there?
Pardon me?
How thick is the ice there?
6 inches.
Oh yeah?
Yep. It holds me up, so it's got to be safe. So, it's been a very long day, very difficult day. It's only 2 fish out for the 3 of us. Clint just ran to grab a coffee from right over there. So now, other than the few random bites we've had, yeah, that's probably it. But I think what we're going to do is within the next half hour, we're going to make our way back towards the van and fish some of the open holes where other people were fishing today. That worked last week. We managed a really good fish last week doing that. So it's worth a shot to kind of fish our way out.
They would have seen that picture by now.
Yeah, but they didn't know that that was the circumstances. So nice try to explain it there, but
No, I'm trying to make you sound confused, like...
You're already making me sound confused. Hey, let's go fishing. Bring Goldie with you. I'm confused.
That's nice.
But yeah, I just missed a good one on my the rod I have set shallow. Just missed one. I ran over there, and I think my running across the ice spooked it, and it dropped it.
Spooked me, too.
Yeah, well, the pressure crack spooked you when I thrust all my weight down on the ice and forced
Water's coming out of the holes.
But I think, yeah, what we're going to do is fish here for another 20 minutes, half hour, take everything down, get it all kind of mobilized, and then fish our way out before we leave. So there's a chance at another fish.
We have to turn this off now.
Oh, why?
He's walking towards us.
Oh, is he on his way back? And
Yeah.
He has no idea what just happened?
Nope.
I'll find out in a minute. Have this at the ready for when we have to tell him.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go back over my stuff and get a different pair of gloves.
Okay.
Hey, are you enjoying that donut and that coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to tell me.
Fish on my
Do
rod.
you notice anything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You're. I missed one on here.
Yeah.
Walk over to talk to Goldie about how I missed that fish. I look over, and not only was the rod reefed down, but the stand was bending forward.
Oh my God.
So your rod's been christened. It plays a fish beautifully. It's really nice. Wasn't a big fish, but now that that's been christened and it's been worked in, you have permission to catch with it. Well, we're pretty much nearing the end of the session. It's been a full day. We've done the entire day. There's probably maybe half hour, 40 minutes of daylight left, and then she's dark. With only the 2 fish to show for it, it's a big difference between the last 2 sessions that we've done here over the last 2 weeks. You know, last week was just killer. We had fish coming out left and right. And the week before we were getting the bites, but we didn't manage to get anything but the one in at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm just trying this last hole. We're literally 40 yards from the bank, and then we'll be able to hop right in the van. Just trying for that last bite. Really, really hoping to pick one off like I did last week. But it was a good day. Clint got to experience some ice fishing for the first time. He also got to experience ice fishing with me, which means I probably catch everything on his rod anyways. But, you know, it was a good day out. Nice way to spend the day out in the fresh air rather than just sitting at home watching TV or something. But the winter sessions are going to continue. You know, the weather's playing a huge factor for us, dictating where we go and what we chase. But, you know, it's changing so much, especially like last week. We have no idea what we're going to have our chances to go after next weekend. So, you know, we could be ice fishing for perch up north. We could be chasing trout in the river if it's clear. You know, we might not have any other options but to come here again. We'll have to see. Until then, I'm really just thinking, I'm hoping for one last bite. I ran out of stuff to say. It's a good thing I left openings to end it. Just want a f***ing bite. Watch Clint get one and miss it.